I grabbed the bat and headed toward the car where those bastards were. My grip was tight, knuckles white with fury. My heart pounded like a war drum, a deafening rhythm in my ears. The night air was thick with betrayal, and I could still hear Willow's voice echoing in my head, the same voice that once whispered love now dripping with lies. Then I started smashing their windows. The first hit sent glass raining down like shards of my broken trust. The second strike was pure adrenaline. I wasn't thinking, I was reacting, lashing out, punishing them for what they did to me. Willow screamed, "Luke! What are you doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?" "Oh, sweetheart, I'm just getting started." I turned to face her, bat still in hand, breath heaving. "This is your boyfriend's car, huh?" My voice was low, steady, like the calm before a storm. "How did it feel spreading your legs for him right before our wedding day?" She flinched like I'd struck her with the bat instead of words. Good. Let her feel a fraction of what I was feeling. Inside the car, the bastard, Chase, as I'd come to learn his name was, fumbled with the door handle, probably hoping to make a run for it. Not on my watch. I pulled out the gas can I'd grabbed from the garage, popped the cap, and started pouring. The stench filled the air, raw and unmistakable. "Oh my God, Luke, stop!" Willow screeched. I pulled a match from my pocket, held it up to the glass, let the tiny flame flicker in the reflection of Chase's terrified eyes. "If any of you even try to get out," I said, voice eerily calm, "you'll burn to ashes." Chase's face turned ghostly pale. "Man, please. Let's talk about this." Talk? Now he wanted to talk. Funny, because I don't recall anyone talking to me when my fiancé was letting this clown have his way with her. Willow's tears had started, but I wasn't falling for that act. "Luke, please. Just put the bat down, baby, we can talk." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Talk? Like how you talked to me when you were sneaking around with him? When you were coming home smelling like a man who ain't me?" I pressed the bat against the side of the car, tapping it against the door with slow, deliberate thuds. "Was it good, Willow? Did he make you forget about me?" She shook her head violently. "It's not like that. It was a mistake." I stepped closer, my eyes burning into hers. "A mistake?" I hissed. "A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. A mistake is losing your phone. Spreading your legs for another man. That's not a mistake, that's a choice." The air was electric, thick with gasoline fumes and raw hatred. I could hear Chase breathing hard inside the car, like a caged animal waiting to be slaughtered. I let the moment stretch, let them marinate in their fear. Then, slowly, I flicked the match out. It hit the pavement, burning weakly before fizzling out. I wasn't going to burn them alive. Not tonight. But this? This was just the beginning. The sound of the match hissing against the pavement was the only thing that broke the silence. Chase sucked in a sharp breath, his hand still gripping the steering wheel like it would somehow save him. Willow looked at me, eyes wild, red-rimmed from fake tears. I wanted to see fear there. I wanted to see regret. But all I saw was desperation, desperation not to lose the comfortable life I had given her. I leaned against the shattered car door, the bat resting on my shoulder. "Get out," I said. Neither of them moved. I slammed the bat against the hood. I said, "Get the F*** out." Chase stumbled out first, hands raised like I had a gun on him. He was taller than me, broader, but right now? He looked like a scared little boy who just realized the playground bully had found him alone. Willow got out next, shaking, wrapping her arms around herself like I hadn't seen her naked 1,000 times before. "Luke, please," she started. I turned on her so fast she actually took a step back. "Shut up." Her mouth snapped shut. I turned back to Chase. So, you're the guy. The one F***************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** swallowed hard. Man, listen, I swung. The bat connected with his knee, and the bastard collapsed, screaming. Willow shrieked, running toward him, but I grabbed her by the arm and yanked her back. Oh no, no, no. You don't get to comfort him. You don't get to act like you care. Not after what you did. Her face crumpled, and for a second, I thought she might actually start telling the truth. But then she pulled out the same old script. It was a mistake, Luke. It didn't mean anything. I laughed, cold and bitter. Didn't mean anything? You let another man inside you and it didn't mean anything? I yanked my phone from my pocket, scrolled through the pictures I found on her laptop just hours ago, photos of them in bed, text messages about how much she loved his touch, videos I hadn't even been able to bring myself to watch. I shoved the phone in her face. This didn't mean anything. She went pale. Then, like the pathetic liar she was, she switched tactics. Luke. I was lonely, she whispered. You were always working. I needed attention. I almost saw red. I was working to give you the life you wanted, you ungrateful b******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* fun. And let me guess, Chase here was just giving you attention, huh? Just making you feel special? I turned to the bastard on the ground. Tell me, was she worth it? Chase groaned, clutching his knee. Man, just let me go. I grabbed his shirt and pulled him up so we were face to face. Did you know she was engaged? His silence told me everything. I shoved him back down, disgust curling in my gut. Of course you did. Of course, ing did. Willow stepped forward, reaching for me, and I stepped back so fast she nearly tripped. Don't touch me. Tears streamed down her face, but I felt nothing. Not anymore. Luke, we can fix this, she pleaded. I stared at her, at the woman I thought I loved, and realized something. There was nothing to fix. I dropped the bat. The sound of it hitting the pavement echoed in the empty street. You're disgusting, I said quietly. I don't ever want to see you again. I turned and walked away. She chased after me. Barefoot on the pavement, mascara streaking down her cheeks, looking like some tragic scene in a movie. The kind where the cheating wife realizes too late that she destroyed the only good thing she had. Luke. Luke, wait. I didn't stop. I didn't even slow down. Please, just listen to me. I laughed, actually laughed, because what the hell was there to listen to? I had already heard everything I needed, the moans, the whispered promises she made to him, the way she told him she loved how he made her feel. I heard it all when I found those videos on her laptop. She must have forgotten to delete them. Or maybe she thought I was too stupid, too trusting to ever check. She grabbed my arm, yanking me back. I turned so fast she stumbled, barely catching herself. Get your hands off me. Her lips trembled. It was just a mistake. Stop calling it that. My voice was calm. Too calm. Even I could hear it. A mistake is tripping over your own feet. A mistake is forgetting someone's birthday. You don't just accidentally end up under another man, Willow. That's not ing mistake. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. What excuse could she possibly give? Behind us, Chase groaned, dragging himself up against the car. He was still holding his knee, but the fear in his eyes had started to fade, replaced with something else. Annoyance. Man, just let it go, he muttered. I turned, slow, deliberate. What did you just say? He looked up at me, jaw tightening. I said let it go. She chose me. You lost. The world narrowed. My pulse pounded. I swung. This time, I didn't need a bat. My fist connected with his face so hard he crumpled instantly, head bouncing off the car door. He slid to the ground, groaning. Willow screamed. "Luke, stop it." I grabbed her by the chin, forcing her to look at me. This is who you threw me away for." I pushed her back. "You deserve each other." Her tears dried up quick. Her eyes flashed, something nasty curling her lips. "You think you're so perfect? You think you're some innocent little victim?" I stared at her, waiting. She stepped closer, chin high, like she had any dignity left to salvage. "You were never home. You never looked at me like you used to. You let our relationship turn into routine. Chase made me feel wanted." I laughed in her face. "You needed validation, so you spread your legs for another man." "Got it." She flinched. Then, in true Willow fashion, she did what she always did when backed into a corner, she attacked. "You're pathetic," she spat. "You think smashing a car and breaking his face makes you a man? You're weak. That's why I needed someone else. Because you'll never be enough." For a moment, just a moment, the words almost hit. But then I saw her. I really saw her. The woman in front of me wasn't the woman I fell in love with. She was a liar. A user. A selfish, disgusting excuse for a person. And suddenly, I felt nothing at all. I stepped back. "Enjoy your new life, Willow. Hope it was worth it." She opened her mouth, but I was already walking away. And this time, she didn't chase me. I didn't go home. Home wasn't home anymore. It was just a place where a liar slept, where I had built a future that had already burned to the ground. I needed air. I needed space. I needed to be anywhere but near the stench of her betrayal. I got in my truck, hands still shaking, knuckles raw from smashing Chase's face in. The streetlights blurred as I sped down the road, engine growling, my breath ragged. I should have felt something, grief, rage, heartbreak, but I felt hollow. My phone buzzed. I didn't have to look to know it was her. Probably sending texts about how I was overreacting, how we could fix this. I let it ring. Then again. Then again. And then a new name popped up. Derek. My best friend. My best ing friend. I answered. "Yeah. You good, man?" His voice was tight, controlled. I exhaled through my nose. "Not even close." "Where are you?" I didn't even know. Somewhere past the edge of town, the road stretching into the night. "Driving." A pause. Then, "Pull over." I gripped the wheel tighter. "Why?" "Because I just left your house," Derek said, voice sharp. "Willow's there. And she's not alone." My stomach dropped. My heart slammed against my ribs. "What?" "She called someone," he said. Didn't see who, but he pulled up in some black sedan. 5 minutes later, they left together. Something cold and ugly coiled inside me. I could still see her face, the way she had spat those last words at me like she wanted to twist the knife even deeper. "You'll never be enough." And now, what? She didn't even have the decency to fake remorse for 24 hours before crawling into another man's car? I turned the truck around. Derek sighed. "Luke. I'm not gonna do anything crazy." "That's what you said before you bashed in Chase's windows." He deserved it. Not arguing. A beat. "Just don't get yourself arrested, man." I hung up. By the time I got back to town, my body was vibrating, my jaw locked so tight I thought my teeth might crack. I didn't go to the house, I went straight to the only place she'd be this late. The Clover Inn. Cheap. Discreet. The kind of place where people went when they wanted to F*** without consequences. My truck screeched into the lot. I scanned the parked cars. And there it was. A black sedan. My hands curled into fists. My breath came slow, controlled, as I stepped out and stalked toward the motel. The front desk guy barely looked up. Didn't care. He was used to this I took the stairs 2 at a time, heart hammering, my mind already racing ahead, already imagining what I'd see when I kicked that door open. Room 214. I stopped in front of it. Stood there. Listened. Muffled voices. A laugh. Her laugh. Something inside me snapped. I didn't knock. I didn't hesitate. I kicked the door open so hard it slammed against the wall. Willow gasped, jumping off the bed like she'd seen a ghost. The guy, mid-40s, slick back hair, shirt half unbuttoned, scrambled up, cursing. I didn't even blink. Having fun? Willow's face drained of color. Luke. No, please, finish, I said. My voice was too calm. Too even. Tell me how you were lonely. Tell me how it didn't mean anything. She looked from me to the guy, her brain short-circuiting, trying to find some pathetic excuse. And then, the final nail in the coffin. She smirked. Like this was funny. Like I was some joke. The guy beside her huffed, fixing his shirt. Look, kid, I don't know what kind of drama this is, but... I hit him so fast he didn't even finish the sentence. He dropped like a sack of bricks, groaning, clutching his jaw. Willow shrieked, shoving at me. Are you insane? No, I said, voice eerily steady. But I'm done. She scoffed, arms crossing. Oh, so what, you thought you could catch me and what? I'd beg for forgiveness? Cry and say I love you? News flash, Luke, I stopped loving you a long time ago. I just stared at her. And then, I did something she didn't expect. I smiled. Good, I said. Because I never want to see you again. Her smirk twitched. I turned, walked out, stepped over the guy groaning on the floor. My heart was still racing, my fists still tight, but something else settled inside me. Something I hadn't felt since this nightmare began. Peace. I didn't go home. There was nothing left there for me. The walls, the bed, the kitchen table, all of it was tainted. It wasn't mine anymore. It belonged to a version of me that died the second I saw those videos on her laptop. I drove. Just drove. Past the edge of town, past the gas stations and the neon-lit liquor stores, out where the road was nothing but a black ribbon stretching into nowhere. The truck rumbled beneath me, the dashboard glowing faintly, my hands tight around the wheel. I should have felt something. Relief. Sadness. Regret. Instead, there was nothing but silence. Then my phone buzzed. I ignored it. Kept driving. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, I grabbed it, expecting more of Willow's bull ********. But it wasn't her. It was Derek. I answered. Yeah. You need to turn around. His voice was tense, urgent. I frowned. Why? Because the cops are looking for you. Something cold slid down my spine. What? You didn't kill that guy at the motel, did you? No. Then you better get your back here and figure out why Willow's telling everyone you did. I almost laughed. Almost. Of course she was. Of course, the same woman who swore up and down that she loved me was now trying to ruin my life. I turned the truck around. By the time I got back to town, the flashing red and blue lights were already illuminating my street. 3 cop cars parked right outside my house, their radios crackling in the cold night air. A small crowd had gathered, neighbors peeking through their curtains, watching the show. Willow stood in the middle of it, arms crossed, face pale and streaked with fake tears. As soon as I stepped out of the truck, 2 officers turned toward me. Hands on their holsters. One of them, a thick-necked guy with a permanent scowl, stepped forward. "Luke Walker?" I nodded. He glanced back at Willow. She sniffled, wiping her eyes. "That's him," she whispered. He broke into my hotel room and attacked us. "I'm scared, officer. He's not the man I thought he was." I should have expected it. But hearing it? Watching her play the victim so effortlessly? It made my blood run hot. The cop exhaled, like he already knew this was a mess he didn't want to deal with. "Sir, you're gonna need to come with us." "Am I under arrest?" "No," he admitted. "But we need to ask you some questions." I turned to Willow, staring into those lying, soulless eyes. And then, I smiled. Not the way I used to. Not soft. Not warm. This smile was sharp. Cold. Because she had just made the biggest mistake of her life. I let them take me. Answered their questions. Kept my voice even, steady, as I explained exactly what happened. No, I didn't break into the motel, I kicked the door open because it was mine. It was under my name. Paid for with my money. No, I didn't attack her new boyfriend, I defended myself when he came at me first. And no, I wasn't some jealous psycho who couldn't let go, I was a man who just wanted his cheating ex-fiancée out of his life. By the time they let me go, the sun was rising. My knuckles still ached from hitting Chase, my body heavy with exhaustion. But my mind? My mind was clear. Because Willow had played her final card. And now? Now it was my turn. I drove straight to my lawyer's office. By noon, every single thing in our house was legally mine. She had signed the lease with me. Her name wasn't on the deed. She had no rights to the car, the furniture, the bank accounts. By 3 p.m., I had changed every lock, cancelled every shared account, and emptied the closets of every last piece of her existence. By 5 p.m., I was sipping a beer on the couch, staring at the front door, waiting. Because I knew she'd come. And right on time, just as the sun started dipping behind the trees, there was a knock. I didn't answer. The knock came again, harder this time. "Luke." Her voice was sickly sweet. "Fake. Baby, come on. Let's talk." I took another sip of my beer. She pounded on the door. "Open the damn door, Luke." I let the silence stretch. Let her stew in it. And then, just when I knew she was about to lose her mind, I stood, walked to the door, and opened it just enough to see her desperate, furious face. She tried to step inside. I didn't move. Didn't let her past the threshold. Her eyes darted behind me, taking in the empty spaces where her things used to be. "Where's my stuff?" I smiled. "It's gone." Her face twisted. "Gone where?" "Not your problem." She inhaled sharply, hands balling into fists. "You can't just throw me out." "I can," I said. And I did. She let out a breathy laugh, shaking her head. "You're serious." "Dead serious." Her mask cracked then. The sweet, seductive act fell away, and for the first time, she looked scared. Because she knew. She had lost. "This isn't over," she hissed. I leaned against the doorframe. "Yeah, it is." And then I did the one thing she never expected. I shut the door in her face. She screamed. A loud, ugly, furious scream, the kind that belonged to a cornered animal. Then came the pounding. Fists slamming against the door, the wood rattling in its frame. "Luke! You coward! Open the damn door!" I didn't. I took another sip of my beer, leaned back against the couch, and let her rage. Bang! 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 She was losing it, and it was beautiful. "You think you're better than me?" she shrieked. "You think you can just erase me like I never existed?" I kind of did. I let out a slow breath, waiting for the inevitable. And there it was, the switch. The second she realized screaming wouldn't work, her tone dropped. Became soft, wounded, the same manipulative little voice she always used when she wanted something. "Baby, come on. I know you're hurt, but we can fix this. I still love you." That almost made me laugh. Almost. I could see her through the peephole, her hair a mess, mascara streaked down her face, lips trembling just enough to look convincing. Too bad I knew her too well. She wasn't sad. She wasn't sorry. She was pissed she lost. Her hand went to the doorknob. She rattled it, probably expecting to walk in like nothing happened. When she realized it was locked, she sucked in a sharp breath. "Luke, be serious. Where am I supposed to go?" "Not my problem. You can't just abandon me." I could. And I did. I waited, let the silence settle heavy between us. Then, finally, she snapped. "You were never man enough for me anyway," she spat. "Chase was better in bed, you know that? He actually knew how to." I yanked open the door so fast she stumbled back. For the first time, she looked nervous. I stepped forward, towering over her, watching as her smugness faltered just a little. "You done?" She swallowed. Good." I pointed down the street. "Get off my porch. Get out of my life. And take your cheap little motel affairs with you." She stared at me, chest rising and falling, lips pressed into a thin line. She wanted to say more, I could see it in her eyes. But she didn't. Because deep down, she knew she lost. I shut the door again, locked it, and let the silence stretch. Then, just as I expected, the final act. Through the window, I saw her storm back to the street, pull out her phone, and make a call. Probably Chase. Or whoever else was stupid enough to pick up. She didn't even hesitate. No remorse. No second thoughts. Just on to the next. That was who she was. And suddenly, I felt nothing for her. No more love. No more pain. Just, nothing. I turned away from the window, exhaling slowly. The house was quiet, too quiet, but for the first time, it didn't feel empty. It felt mine. I sat back down, kicked my feet up, and finished my beer. The next morning, I changed my number. By noon, I had blocked her on every social media platform, deleted every photo, erased every last trace of her from my life. By evening, I found myself staring at an empty dresser, the space where her clothes used to be. And I smiled. Because she was gone. For real this time. No more second chances. No more back and forth. I had one. And she? She was just a lesson I'd never have to learn twice. 2 days passed. No calls, no texts, no cops banging on my door. I should have known it was too quiet. On the third night, Derek called. "You're not gonna believe this," he said, voice laced with something between amusement and disbelief. "Try me. I'm at O'Malley's. Willow's here." That wasn't surprising. She was probably trying to slither into some guy's wallet already. And she's been going around telling everyone you're an abusive psycho. I rubbed my temple. Of course, she is. That's not even the best part, Derek continued. Guess who she's with? I had a bad feeling about this. Who? Chase. For a moment, I just sat there, gripping my phone, letting that settle. Thought you broke his face? I asked. Derek snorted. Yeah, well, apparently, she likes her men weak and stupid, 'cause she's all over him like nothing happened. But dude, she's been trying to turn the whole bar against you. Saying you're violent, controlling, that she had to escape. That's rich. Yeah. But some people are eating it up. Especially since Chase is playing along like he's some poor victim who barely survived your rage. I exhaled slowly, a dangerous kind of calm settling over me. Where exactly are you? Luke. Where are you? Derek sighed. O'Malley's. But listen, man. I hung up. The drive there was fast. Too fast. Tires screeching, engine growling as I tore through town. By the time I pulled up to the bar, my pulse was slow and steady. The kind of calm that came right before a storm. I stepped inside, and there she was. Willow. Smirking, laughing, hand resting on Chase's thigh like she hadn't been sobbing on my porch 3 days ago. Chase was still bruised, his eye swollen, but he was grinning like an idiot, eating up the attention. The moment she saw me, her face lit up, not with fear, not with regret, but with glee. She wanted me to be here. She wanted an audience. Well, she purred, loud enough for the whole damn bar to hear. Look who finally crawled out of his little cave. I said nothing. Just walked forward, eyes locked on her. The room went quieter. People watching. Waiting. She leaned back in her seat, crossing her legs. You here to throw another tantrum? Still, I didn't speak. She let out a fake sigh. I mean, really, Luke, I feel bad for you. This whole angry ex thing. It's pathetic. You couldn't handle a real woman, and now you. I leaned in. Just close enough for only her to hear. You know what's pathetic? I murmured, voice calm. That you need me. She blinked. What? You need me to be the villain, I said. Because if I'm not, then you're just another cheap, lying piece of trash with nothing left to offer. Her lips parted slightly. You need me, I repeated, because without me, you're just you. And that scares the hell out of you, doesn't it? For the first time, she didn't have a response. The smirk was gone. The confidence wavered. And that's when I laughed. Not out of anger. Not out of pain. But because I had already won. I straightened, clapped Chase on the shoulder, and smiled. She'll ruin you, too, buddy. Give it a month. Then I turned and walked out. Left her sitting there, stewing, knowing she had lost. And this time? She couldn't twist the story. She didn't follow me. Didn't scream, didn't chase after me like she used to when she thought she could still control me. No. This time, she just sat there, exposed, because for the first time in her life, she had nothing left to twist. I walked out of O'Malley's, stepped into the cold night air, and took the deepest breath I had in years. It was over. Really over. No more back and forth. No more wondering if she'd call, if she'd show up at my door, if I'd have to deal with her one last time. She was done. And I was free. The next morning, I packed a bag. Not much, just some clothes, my truck keys, and a few things that actually meant something. Then I got in my truck, rolled down the windows, and started driving. I didn't know where I was going, and for the first time in a long time, that felt good. No more walking on eggshells. No more worrying about what she was doing, who she was with, what lie she was spinning. She was someone else's problem now. And me? I had a new life to start. A real one. One where I mattered.